everybody. I'm Kathy Hester, and welcome to my kitchen. Today, what we're going to do is make a green smoothie. And I even have a guest, which I've never had a guest before. So that's going to be an extravaganza. And she is the person who wrote the 40 Days of Green Smoothie book. So she is like a green smoothie expert. I'm just a hobbyist. So, and I'm going to go ahead and put her on the screen for a little bit too. And here we go. This is Becky.
Hey.
And I still want to say it. It's Streepy.
Yes, like
Streepy.
sleepy.
Streepy. I'm going to have to say that like 800 times to try and embed it into my brain. And I see a few people are coming on, so it's coming. It takes a little while to get around the interwebs. So please let us know how you're doing. Are you making a green smoothie along with us? What's the weather like? Still dreary here, as you can see. And say hi. So we're going to make Becky's Almost-Horchata green smoothie, because I thought this would be interesting and we could talk a little bit about some of the substitutions we could make, or if we were out of something. And I have her permission even. But you know,
Kathy, I trust you completely.
oh, you're so sweet. I appreciate your trust for sure. Um, so tell me a little bit about what prompted you to do a green smoothie book.
Sure. So I have always struggled with breakfast. Um, and I've always been like interested in Lent, even though I'm Jewish. I liked the idea of like just trying to change something about yourself for a finite period of time to kind of see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And so one year for Lent, I decided that I was going to tackle my breakfast problem. And instead of giving something up, which I know is like the usual thing, I was going to add a green smoothie to my morning every day for 40 days. And I wanted to try to do it in a way that was on budget because of life, and make it easy for myself, but also without being boring. Like I didn't want to just have strawberry banana every day for 40 days. So I did that, and I kind of documented everything to see what I liked and what I didn't. And I ended up with something that felt very much like a cookbook. So I kind of went back and refined it and released this cookbook.
Smart. That's super smart. Kudos for documenting all the things you did too. It's
That
really
was
easy.
pre-kids.
Okay, it was pre-kids. Because like for me, I'm always futzing with things and kind of like changing things. So even on these lives, a lot of times I'll take an old recipe and make it into a new recipe right in front of your eyes. So I do want to take a minute and say hi to Linda, who's in dreary, damp Windsor. And Ramesh is here again. It's so nice to see you. You were lovely to have the other day. And Sherry's asking me what high-powered blender I prefer. So Becky, we'll look at you too. So I typically use my Vitamix the most. I also have a GoWise hot blender that works really well. So it actually heats up, whereas the Vitamix will make things that are hot, but it's from friction. This actually, the GoWise has an actual heating element in it, which is kind of interesting. And then I have this Ninja, and I had to look it up. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's like this Auto IQ Smooth Boost. But this is where I have my an attachment that does a spice grinder for my spice blends. I have not tried BlendTech, but I've heard good things about BlendTech and Vitamix. So Becky, what is it that you prefer? Actually, I'm going to
I
switch
have
where
been
you are
doing. Oh, sure.
because I keep looking at
Oh,
you the wrong way.
oh, look at that. So I really do everything in my NutriBullet. Um, yeah, it's like I have one of the ones that has different sized canisters, and it just works perfectly for everything. It's easy I like that it's easy to clean too. Like you can just stick it in the dishwasher. And I like that the blades come off, because I feel like with an upright blender, you lose a lot of the goods, like it's hard to get at them. But when it with the NutriBullet, I just pull it off and kind of tap the thing on the side, and extra stuff will fall out.
I think that's a great idea. Let me grab this too. I have this guy for when I'm doing the big blender stuff. So I bought a special spatula just for those stupid blades. So I agree with you.
They're so frustrating. That's a cheaper solution than my buying a whole new blender solution.
Well, I got the Ninja originally because it's a cheaper blender I think it's one of the cheapest of the higher powered blenders. And I wanted to make sure the recipes would work for, far be it for me to say you need to spend $400 to make this recipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not my style. And Vanita is here, and she loves her Blendtec and the IQ Ninja. And it's awesome for doing anything in small amounts. And actually, I was talking to Becky before this, trying to decide, somewhere is my smaller Vitamix container, because you guys never see what's back there. There's a reason for that. It's a hot mess. It's not as dressy as my dress sweatshirt. I decided this is my dress up sweatshirt. So
very fashionable.
I know, it's a crazy world. But it's over there somewhere, so I thought it'd be better for me to make a small amount. And then yesterday, in the onion cream that we also made into like an onion cheese sauce without all the onion flavor. So go watch that video. Wherever you are, it should be around there. Or you can watch it on my YouTube channel. So what Becky's recipe calls for first, so the reason it's pseudo horchata or almost horchata is that maybe we're not making this with rice milk or having rice. The horchata I know sometimes has almonds in it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wanted to keep it allergy friendly, so I didn't use any almonds. And then to keep things within budget, I just list vegan milk, whatever you have. But if rice milk would be ideal for this for sure.
Yeah, and we were even talking before we started, because I'm chatty. And I was like, oh, if you had some leftover brown rice, you could put a couple of tablespoons of brown rice in here in a cup of water and make your own brown rice milk. Unless you just happen to have some soaked brown rice. I think that's probably what you're going to have. And Sherry says, thank you tons for addressing this question, as I'm new to plant-based, and this has been one of my big questions. Awesome. And plant-based people use their blenders a lot because we make all kinds of sauces, and smoothies are often made, but you will need something. And what I would suggest, think about your budget first. And still now you may be able to find some sales. I know we've kind of had the sale going on since the summer, right? Wasn't Amazon, didn't they do their Prime Day? It seems like I could the cheap Instant Pot for like the past 9 months. So
yeah,
I
just jump from sale to sale.
Right? Isn't it crazy the way I don't know about how Black Friday was in your email box, but it was a little bit crazy in mine. And I still feel like today, I was not prepared for first day of the year, first working day of the year. And I'm like, So I'm getting a little email inbox overwhelmed. But Sherry, definitely think about what your budget is first and then go and shop for it. If you can afford, a $300 or $400 blender and that's in your budget, just go ahead and get a Blendtec or a Vitamix. You can go on Amazon or other places to get like Renewed, or they have on Amazon, they have the Warehouse. And Becky, do you ever get anything from there? So lots of times they're just returns. So the box,
haven't.
Oh my gosh.
Is it like refurbished stuff?
You can get some refurbished stuff there, but a lot of times it's that the people didn't want it, or the box was dented, so they send it back. And it'll tell you if there's just a little dent in it or something like that. I've gotten tons of air fryers like at half price. So I would look there. My other suggestion, and I don't know where you got your blender, Becky, but I got my Vitamix at Costco. So if you want to get a high ticket thing like a Vitamix or a Blendtec, if Costco has the best return policy of like all the stores. And my Vitamix started acting up 4 or 5 years in. I could tell the motor, something was just not quite right, but it wasn't broken. They're like, great, here's the credit for every last dime that you paid for it on a card.
Awesome.
Went back in, got my new Vitamix, paid my extra, what, $70 or $80 because they're always going up in price. I'm like, yay, brand new Vitamix. So that's why I suggest maybe going to Costco.
I use Bed Bath & Beyond for big stuff for the same reason. The 20% off with the big item, like a Vitamix, or like, I think that's where we got our NutriBullet. It was a long time ago. And then they also have a great return policy. So if you don't like it or if something happens, they'll take it back.
Oh, that's awesome. Do they have a time limit?
They recently changed their policy. It used to be wild that you could return things from like you were saying with Costco from years ago. It might be different now. I haven't done any big purchases like in the last year or so. They recently changed it. So I'm not sure what it is now.
Well, Costco is famous for taking dead Christmas trees back after Christmas. Like, I think that they have rules about electronics, like computers and TVs and things like that, but they haven't moved over into that stuff yet. Now, Joanne says she had a Blendtec and she really didn't like it. It was a top of the line, and she even had the twister jar, and she had $800 invested, and she said she gave it to her best friend who loves it. And right, different strokes. So, I think when we're looking at powerful blenders, if you've not had one, you're going to probably love whichever one you get. So I don't think there's a big, thing. I think the problem that comes a lot of times is that maybe you're new to plant-based, so already you're buying a bunch of new groceries and staples that you've never had before, and that could eat into what your first blender is. So like a NutriBullet, a Ninja, those are acceptable. I don't love the big Ninja pitcher because I'm scared I'm going to kill myself. Because it has this tall blade thing that goes in, almost like a food processor with like 3 blades on it, and you pull it out. So whereas like the Blendtec and the Vitamix don't have a sharp blade, right? It's all from the power of the motor. It's actually how fast it goes. It crushes things. So I love these little ones though. So I'm just going to kind of put that out there because we've never used that, because I cut myself on a bread knife pretty good the other day.
Oh, no. That hurts when that happens.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah,
well, it was good. I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but then because I was washing it, that's how I always do it. I wash it and something slips, and then I went back an hour later, determined to wash the knife, cut myself again.
Kathy, no.
I know. I do these things so I can tell you not to do them. So that. And okay, Karen says her Vitamix was refurbished and half the price and a warranty. So definitely, if you're looking to spend and get a top of the line something, definitely look around. Refurbished, if it's refurbished by Vitamix, they have approved it and they will have a warranty on it. You do need to be careful sometimes about getting refurbished where it doesn't have anywhere you can go. So don't get kind of like Joe down the street refurbished it. Make sure that it's like the company. And Amy says we've had a Ninja, a Vitamix, and a Blendtec. The Vitamix she likes the best, Blendtec number 2. And Vitamix repaired her blender free of charge, including shipping costs after it was out of warranty. And that's true. I've heard with the pitchers too, a lot of times you can kind of get one replacement for free if you ask enough. So I've heard that happen. I don't know about 2. But also I dropped my smaller one, and it, not the container of the liquid, but the part that goes around cracked a little bit, and I still use it. I'm sure it's the same.
As long as it's not leaking, right?
Yeah, it's not leaking or anything. I wouldn't want to put it on super high speed because it's going to wobble around some, but, I think that would work. And Joanne is with you on Bed Bath & Beyond has a number of big purchase items that they do not discount or allow discount coupons to be used. I don't think that NutriBullet is on there. Breville's are. But I have heard through the grapevine that a lot of stores, and it's store by store, will let you use the 20% coupon on the Breville oven air. And that's a lot of money off. So
Yeah.
it never
Oh,
hurts
like
to
they'll
try.
price match?
Oh, say that one more time, Becky.
So they'll like price match whatever the Bed Bath & Beyond price would have been?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I bet some place would price match for sure. But that's beyond my mental capabilities. That's when I go, hey, Cheryl, find the I want this. Find the best deal. Because a long time ago, I'm the one who taught her to start searching and how to find the deals, and so now she's better at it than I am.
That frees up your mental space to reinvent recipes on the fly.
One hopes. So speaking of recipes, anybody want a smoothie? Because this is my lunch. It's going to be a delicious lunch. So if we went by Becky's recipe, we could just put any kind of non-dairy milk, a cup in here. But you know I have to be difficult. So we're going to make our own oat milk first. So I've got a cup of water, maybe a little over a cup. I'll save some of it back, just in case we need to get some things started. And I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of oats. And these are just rolled oats. For me, they're gluten-free rolled oats, but they don't have to be for you. And I do this, you guys have seen me do this in the ice creamless milkshakes that I make and everything else. So oat milk can be expensive. And also, when you make homemade oat milk, which I love to do, if you make it a lot of it, it only lasts for a couple of days. So this is going to be loud. I think that's going to be about enough for what we're doing, because we're going to blend some more. You can still see some little pieces of like oat bran on there. Since, just like my ice creamless milkshakes, when I do a smoothie, I don't strain the oat milk. I just say, yay, some extra fiber for me, and I don't really notice the difference in texture. But if you're
especially with a green smoothie, there's a lot of texture already.
Yeah, yummy texture, right? You guys can kind of see that a little bit. I don't have my overhead camera working today. So we've got that. So now I'm trying to go and look at the recipe.
Do you want me to read it out to you?
That would probably be good. So I'm assuming that the milk should be in there already, or perhaps I've messed up our order of stuff.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You just got to throw it all in there.
Okay.
So then you've got your kale. So it's 1/4 to 1/2 cup. I would say if you're new to green smoothies, go with 1/4. Kathy, I'm sure you're not new to green smoothies, so you can go the full half. Okay. And usually I remove the ribs, but Kathy and I talked about beforehand that she doesn't do that. Or these are kind of, dinosaur kale is a little more tender. Curly kale ribs are like very woody, and that would give you a texture that is not pleasing.
I have to remove them for Cheryl's smoothies for sure. And I don't know about your recipe, so I may go off on a tangent. Usually what I do is then I would put the greens in here and make it green milk. But I might go ahead and put the cinnamon and the vanilla in. Then I would do that, and then I would come back and add the chia seeds and the frozen stuff. How do you do it?
I just throw it all in, but you can definitely do it in increments too, if that's the way you're used to doing it. Okay. Also, you know your blender.
It could also be because I like push it to the extreme. I want it to be like an icy from the movies. So I may push your smoothie. So how much vanilla are we putting in?
How much vanilla? It's been a minute. 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Okay. That's exactly 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Mm-hmm. Science.
How much cinnamon?
Just a pinch. I'm checking off ingredients as you add them so we don't add anything twice.
And I'm pretty good about moving things around, okay? I could go ahead and put the chia seeds in too, because that could be kind of interesting. How much chia seeds?
Just a tablespoon.
A tablespoon. Wow, yeah. That's a lot more than I would have thought. My doctor would like this. She wants me to drink for dessert, get some plain vegan kefir and mix chia seeds in with that and flaxseed. Which
Wow.
sounds not delicious at all that way.
Sounds very fibrous.
Sometimes I think she's forgotten I'm a vegan and that I eat lots of this stuff. Let me just go in here. Okay. Yay. And Ramesh said cinnamon. Yeah, because cinnamon is in horchata. So one of the things that CJ from the UK has had horchata made with tiger nuts. And she's saying rather than rice, perhaps that's a European thing. And I'm not sure. I don't know where tiger nuts come from originally, as far as like the part of the world. Do you know? Yeah, and Joanne's saying tiger nuts aren't very common. Okay, so we got some stuffs in here. And we're going to blend it some more. And then we'll talk a little bit about horchata too. Green. If I was here by myself, I'd let it go a little longer. This has like these cycles where it stops and goes and things like that. One of the reasons that I do the greens and like my green milk first is because of Cheryl. So you have a child that's a picky eater. Let me get a different spatula. I have a grown-up that's a picky eater.
I too have a grown-up that's a picky eater.
And so where now she'll eat greens, she likes greens a lot. That was not the case for a very, very long time. So I would remove stems out when I'm cooking. And then I just find making sure the greens are smooth enough, because if she'd get a little piece, it would not work out so well.
Yeah, my kid is pretty used to getting a little piece in a smoothie because I just throw everything in and blend.
Right, and yeah, Cheryl would not be happy. Now I'm putting in, this was a pretty small banana, so I'm putting it all in. I'm also getting I want to get the little pieces of ice that was in there too. And then you recommended just a couple of ice cubes. How many?
Just 4, because I like them. I like my smoothies to be on the creamy side, but if you wanted icy, I'd add more ice than that.
I'm going to try it with, these are on the smallest size of the cube, so this is probably a little less than a tablespoon. So I'm going to put in 6, which is probably about what yours are looking for. So let's do that, because I can always add more ice. But if you put too much ice in to start with, then you got to go and get some more liquid. Because I've done that before. I freeze up the blender all the time, honestly. What I'm listening for is to see if there's still, do I hear an ice cube moving around? Is it safe to open it up? And we can pour it into a measuring cup too. But let me taste it, because you guys know, what if I want more vanilla or cinnamon? Now's the time to taste. Oh, the cinnamon is so good in there with the vanilla.
Yeah, that's such a nice combo. It's like a cookie.
It really does taste like, it kind of, because you get a little hint of oatmeal because of the oat milk too. So it really does taste a lot like a cookie. I'm always like choking on something. So Joanne says tiger nuts are from Africa. And yeah, it is green, yeah. Magic mixer, Ramesh, absolutely. So what we've done, and because you want the recipe, you can watch this again and make it yourself. Or we are also, Becky's book, 40 Days of Green Smoothies, is in Amy Katz's New Year Plant-Based Bundle. Remember, we talked about the bundle yesterday. It's only $14.99, and you get a bunch of ebooks, and you get some like meal planning stuff. We get Mary Ellen's like cool like meal planning and daily planning and check off your water stuff. We looked at that yesterday too. It was really cool.
Oh, I love her planner.
It's
And it's so
really
pretty.
nice. Yeah. And Becky, now you do more beyond just being in her bundle. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your sites, and other things that you have?
Oh, sure. So I run a website, glueandglitter.com. Not gluten, but glue. Long.
Glueandglitter.com. Where did that come from?
So back in like 2007, 2008, I was a full-time crafter. I made aprons and lunch boxes. I know. A whole other
I
life.
want a lunchbox.
Kathy, I'll make you one. If I can find all of my stuff. I think I probably still have. And so it was primarily a crafting blog where I would share recipes. But I don't know if you know this, but selling enough lunch boxes to pay the electricity, that's a lot of lunch boxes. And it started to become more of a grind. And so, but whereas the recipe development part of it, I loved doing, and it was actually kind of taking off. And so by the time I decided to pivot and do food, it was too late to change the name. People knew me and I didn't want to throw them off balance. So I just kind of stuck with it.
That totally makes sense. So they can find more recipes, and you have lots and lots of vegan air fryer recipes. Is there an air fryer book perhaps in your future, or did you pass that along?
I don't know.
Okay,
I've thought about it.
No pressure. I step back.
I do love my air fryer, and I love putting air fryer recipes on my blog. I don't know. I've thought about it. Right now, I'm not working on a next cookbook, but that's definitely like in the possibilities for the next one when I get to it.
Maybe next bundle or something.
Yeah, maybe next bundle.
Okay. So tell us about your other book.
Sure. So 40 Days of Green Smoothies was my first cookbook, and then the one in the bundle is actually the second edition. And then my second cookbook is bowls, and it's all about meals you can eat in a bowl. The first half is, oh my gosh, I might be lying to you. One half is all about components. I break down the parts of a bowl and then talk about like components that you can mix and match and how to like create basically like fridge dump recipes on the fly. Because I feel like, you know, you get home from work and it's 5:30 and everybody's hungry and you just have to work with what you have. So it's like recipes for pieces of bowls, like beans and grains and that kind of thing. And then the other half of the book is full bowl recipes. So there are soups and stews and some like multi-part bowls as well. So sort of anything that can go in the bowl and how to make bowls work for you to make eating vegan work for you.
And they can purchase that on glueandglitter.com.
Yeah, if you go onto my website, there's a link to where you can buy the book. And Kathy, I'll send you that link too.
Okay, awesome. I will do my best since I put this in one place, it goes out 10 places. So hopefully I will catch all of them. If not, you guys let me know. And don't forget, if you're not already in my vegan, let's start over that. Everybody want to take a deep breath with me? My free vegan private Facebook group called Vegan Recipes Cooking with Kathy Hester. You can ask questions about, like, if you have the smoothie book and you want to figure out some substitutions and things like that, you can ask questions there. It's a really warm community for both vegans and plant-based people. And Ramesh said what was in here. So what made it green was I used some Tuscan kale, or we call it dinosaur kale sometimes too. So it's the one that's actually, I will show you some. Let's So instead of curly kale, it's real close to the stem. And a lot of times the stems are more tender. And I like it because they're usually smaller leaves and you can just grab a handful and chop them up really fast. So I like that a lot. And Vanita got the plant-based bundle. Awesome. When you're excited to start exploring, start with Becky's 40 Days of Green Smoothies because we all need more greens in our lives. And Ramesh really likes the preparation, thinks it's easy and healthy. We've got another person who loves it. That's how I'm glad you all are like loving my lunch. Maybe you're a little jealous. I can be okay with that. Like yesterday, we actually didn't eat anything all day till like 6:30. Like it
Oh
was
my
just a
God.
crazy day. And so, what else, Becky, would you like to share?
Gosh. Oh, well, I also have a podcast. It's sort of about vegan food and sort of about arguing with my husband, Dave. It's called Talkin' Tofu. You can find us anywhere that you get your podcasts. It's talking without the G, talkin'.
Talking tofu.
Yes. And occasionally we actually do talk about tofu, but not as often as you think.
I kind of like the idea of a podcast arguing with Cheryl. I'm not sure.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Cheryl comes on sometimes reluctantly, but like on Halloween, she had a big Jack Skellington head. We were on Virtual Veg Fest live, and we danced to the intro. I was dressed like, a Harry Potter witch, of course. But now she got this other head. She's like, I'll come on and do dancing. I'm like, that sounds just like what everybody wants to see all the time. So you guys, you can vote for that. She's not here today, but if you want to see it tomorrow, you let me know. And so, what do you have any favorite things out of the bundle yet? Have you looked through the bundle much?
I have looked through it. I am a big fan of the planner that you mentioned of Mary Ellen's. It actually, so the planner that she shares in the bundle grew out of it's not a cleanse, but we're just going to say cleanse that she does, which is like a 14-day, you get a meal plan and you get, you do a smoothie every day also, but with it came with this little planner, printable planner where you can write down what you ate and how you felt. And I just found that really helpful. And
I'm going to show it to people again while we're talking.
Yeah, so it's got that shopping list, which is awesome. And then, Kathy's gone.
It's okay.
Oh,
I'm letting you talk while I'm showing this.
Oh, sure. So the shopping list and then the grocery staples, which is nice. So you can kind of mix and match your grocery list.
And I think this is so good for people who are new.
Yeah. So you kind of know what all you need.
This is one
So that's new. And then this planner, so you can plan your meals, but also write down your goals. And then the notes section in the original planner was like how you're feeling, kind of like your mood, but like physically how you're feeling too. And it helped me connect some things like how I was feeling, how much more connected to what I was eating, or that I was maybe not eating breakfast, that kind of thing.
I pointed this out to you because we went through all this yesterday, but I just think this is so cool. And someone's saying, remind me, where can you find the bundle? So if you look wherever you are, there should be a description. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you may not be able to see it. I've noticed that's happened sometimes, but as soon as we're off, you'll be able to go back and get it. Also, I will try and find it for you too. And I do have a YouTube channel. And so if you look up Kathy Hester, I will find that too. Becky, you're going to stay on the screen.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hi,
so I'll tell you that the 40 Days of Green Smoothies is also broken out. It's broken out into weeks, and each week has a shopping list. So before the first week, you know exactly what you need to buy. And I try to limit the ingredients each week and use them in different combinations. So you're getting a different smoothie each day, but you're not buying like 6 different kinds of frozen fruit. You're just buying like 2 kinds of frozen fruit and a couple of other things each week. So it keeps it budget friendly and organized, and but also versatile. Versatile is not the right word. Variety. Gives you variety. There we go.
Okay, awesome. And you can come to my YouTube channel. It's Kathy Hester Vegan Recipes. I wasn't sure what order we were doing in here. So you can find all of my lives. And you know I went live every day in December. So that was a lot. And then the bundle. Actually, I'm going to go back to camera and I will add myself left. And while we're doing this, I know I have it written down somewhere too. It's always the question I'm not prepared for, right? I made a bit.ly link. So it's bit.ly. That's what a bit.ly link is. So http:// bit.ly/Jan Vegan Bundle. JAN Vegan Bundle. So I made it easy for you, but obviously I made it confusing for me because I didn't remember it. So, do you guys have any other questions? So there's a bunch of books. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit during the week and some more. It ends January 8th. So when the sale ends, it's done. It's gone forever. So realize that. And I will show really quick because I think I still have your book up. So this was the horchata one we just made. And there's so many. There's 40. That's a lot of smoothies. So I want to get to the cover. Ooh, look at, I love your glassware too. I was talking about this. I was like, I want that glass.
Those are in a special cabinet because they would never survive in my regular kitchen.
Oh, I totally get that. So
I lost a few and was like, you can't have nice things anymore.
we have some glasses that are put away for special occasions. Do any of you guys have any questions for Becky or more questions about blenders or about things that you could use in a smoothie? And I do know one question that you guys asked yesterday. So Becky, if you don't like bananas or have an allergy to bananas or just feel angry at bananas, what could I use instead of bananas?
So I have seen people use sweet potato or white sweet potato in place of bananas, and that'll work really well. You can use a 1-to-1 replacement.
Okay, and you're putting these in cups already, so you're not just saying one banana, which is a mysterious measure that could be on a lot of them. So I'm that like one banana could be little teeny tiny or giant.
Very large.
And that's why you get your bananas at Trader Joe's, because they're by the piece, and you can get the biggest bananas ever. And now I'll let you finish, Miss Becky.
Oh, you're fine. I also have a lot of smoothies in the book that use avocado instead of banana. It doesn't bring the sweetness, but it gets the sweetness it makes up for it with the fruit. And if you want a little extra sweetness, you can always throw like a soaked date in there. I would soak your date in hot water, especially if you don't have a high-speed blender, just to soften it, because otherwise you're going to end up with just chunks of dates in your smoothie, and that's not great.
I agree, and I got some dates recently that were really, really dry. So you could always, too, if you were in a hurry, you could just throw it in a pan with some water and quick boil it if you didn't already have some soaked overnight. That's something that I
do. Yeah.
Okay, well, Becky, thank you so much for joining me and being my very first interview person.
I am honored. Thank you for having me.
I knew you'd be patient while I was trying to figure all of this out. So
I'm very comfortable with technical problems.
So my audience, therefore, get to do all the things. And Cheryl is just getting ready to give me a whole new audio computer setup soon. So cross your fingers on that one. Okay, Becky, again, thank you for taking time out of your day, and we really appreciate you, and I'm excited to try more of your smoothies, and hopefully we'll get to chat again soon.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't forget, you can find Becky at glueandglitter.com. And those of you that do oil-free, her recipes may have some oil. I know that you have some oil-free options as well. But remember, you can always look at a recipe and you can figure some things out. And if you can't, you can come over to my Facebook group, Vegan Recipes Cooking with Kathy Hester, and we can help you figure out some substitutes. Okay, so everybody, thank you guys so much for joining in. I hope the people who've gotten the vegan bundle are already enjoying it. If you have some questions about it, just let me know. And tomorrow we have a really special live. I'm going live with Idaho potatoes, and we're going to make vegan sausage that is nut-free, gluten-free, and soy-free.
Wow.
And it's not made of air. Have you guessed what it's made of? Potatoes and oats, right? But we'll make that. We actually made the sausage spice that goes in that a week or two ago, so we're going to use that sausage spice. So if you want to cook along, go ahead and watch that video, make your sausage spice, and then we'll catch up tomorrow and make some sausage patties. Okay, have a great day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.